Good afternoon. My name is Jacques Leonardi. I'm working at the University of Westminster developing solutions with the industry, trying to evaluate them. And this one was about the problem that electric vehicles are not growing enough. We have a lot of small-scale studies over the years, and I was a bit fed up to see it remain small-scale, and so wanted to make it bigger and to understand the business model, and to look in the pilot, in the trial, how to grow the solution. And the solution involved not only electric vehicles, but also consolidation centers. Because of the consolidation, we had to involve with all the clients, so we work with businesses. To evaluate the impact was a very simple story, because if it is too complicated, nobody would play with, and to work with the urban actors, it's very important to keep it lean in order to have it green. And so we focus on total distance, energy use, and air pollutants and greenhouse gas emissions. And also we get the data on costs, because we want to make it business model and make it profitable for the people who are running it. And the very essential part of the City Lab project was to create a kind of atmosphere of living laboratory where we are all cooperate, whereas the older confrontative attitude between public sector and being regulating and very rigid, and the private sector always fighting for more rights and easier business conditions, we completely stop, and we just try to work together and develop solutions that would work and be expanded afterward. And so this coordination was the London Living Lab. And we work with Transport for London, myself and the university colleagues, and Newt Cargo and TNT. The whole concept of upscaling is something that I'm desperate to start one day, but still in the future, because we are, as I say, we were trying to scale up until the end. We didn't really succeed in that. So the objective was to answer the question, what the scientists always need to ask a question and try to find an answer for it. And what could be the business case for future growth of electric urban logistics, considering an overall improvement in clean energy, traffic condition, and freight efficiency in the urban area. And for this, I apply a kind of generic building blocks model of developing, testing, evaluating solutions in urban logistics. It started always with a theoretical framework, but for a company, this is called a business case. Business case is, I need to do a freight optimization and efficiency. I need to take care of climate change mitigation, internalize external costs, maximize profit, minimize the risk, don't go bankrupt, right? So that is so important. Now, we had so many bankruptcies. And so be customer-oriented. We just don't change the market. We just do our trials with real customers in real business conditions and with real parcels deliveries. So we produce real-life business data, not theoretical modeling data, but still we need to make calculation. So we need to have the help of a conceptual and mathematical framework, which is contributing to and designed to assess sustainable urban freight deliveries. We need implementation actions and living labs, which were, of course, many. I'm very, very thankful for this conference to have seen so many good examples, not only in Torino, which is absolutely brilliant, but also in Oslo and in Luxembourg, right? So these construction consolidation approaches were absolutely essential. And I consider myself contributing to that, but also copying you and be inspired by you as my community. I'm very, very thankful to all my dear colleagues for all these efforts and the case studies and what has been done so far. So this is Living Lab cooperation in a much wider sense than it is expressed here. And of course, I need to calculate and validate the result with impact assessment, data monitoring, and reporting. But it is dynamic. I do a before-after comparison, not just to collect data for the purpose of knowing better urban freight, because I'm sorry to say this is too complicated for me. I need to focus on the situation for a real business before, entering the solution or applying the solution after, so with, without solution, and dynamic data, right? It can change over time according to the market. And the legacy and future scenario, yes, it is scaling up, please, in the future. And the London business of Newt Cargo is 100% electric, replacing a traditional delivery scheme with a Newt Cargo urban consolidation scheme. And the business model, a generic business model, is as follows. You would have on the left side, before starting Newt Cargo, with TNT starting from different depots at night or in the morning, peak hour, making delivery in central London with a lot of different diesel vehicles at peak traffic time. And then in the replacement scenario, it's not a scenario, it's a real live business activity with a diesel truck in off-peak time from the depots of TNT to the depot of Newt Cargo in central London, and then onwards with electric van during the peak traffic. These are the vehicles before. These are the different type of vehicles tested after, also with cycles. And here is a key unit, is called a meter per parcels delivered in a trial. So we are coming down to an average of 119 meters distance per parcel on average over 1 year. Each point on this graph is one driver, one van, 1 day. All deliveries, the average, and so these are 1,300 IDs. So it's 13,000 data, right? So for the whole activity that could be evaluated. And the meters per parcel is unfortunately still showing that for some days and some parcels, it was needed to drive about 5 kilometers, not 119 meters. So we are still, even if it is a very well developed and very well consolidated distribution model, some very bad days where the conditions are such that you have a huge further reduction potential. And so overall, the impact data of CityLab London were very good, expressing percentage change is 100% on tailpipe emission, minus 67% on the annual figure, expressing miles per parcel delivered, and minus 75% in all equivalent, and 93% of the lot mile empty distance driven by all vehicles. And the last development in spring, unfortunately, Newt Cargo got purchased by a bigger company called Menzies Distribution, maintain its customer base, maintain its name, and the operational concept. But because of the overall business changes, I cannot claim it is a full success in understanding how to future grow can happen. It's just to say that the solution works, the customers were happy. We were having 4 customers, now we've got 8, and we know how to grow the solution, how to change the depot. And the price per charging point has been come down from 10,000 to 3,000 points. And we also have started with 8 cubic meter vans. So the future growth could be replicated, but still when I look to the total number of annual new registered commercial battery electric vans in the EU, look, the 2007 total is 16,000. I think we have a total 25 millions of trucks in EU or something like that every year, new registration. So it's still a so tiny market, and the growth rate is good looking, but still, in my view, simply not enough. All right, so we need to work much, much more on that. TfL invests a lot, and that's I'm very happy. We are finally having a top-down policy from the government to invest in infrastructure that is pushing the sector towards the right direction. I'm still missing that link between so many good bottom-up business solutions and a very effective and measurable and well-evaluated top-down strategy. We're trying to have also consortium, so the idea of cooperation is also in the electricity infrastructure development sector the case. We face a lot of barriers, but there are also at the same time potential solutions to overcome these barriers. So, sorry to say, after 3 years, I still don't know how to best grow this business model of sustainable urban logistics solution. I try to understand it, but it's still too complicated and too fragmented as for now. So I need to work much more on scaling up. The biggest problem is that none of the Newt Cargo depot in central London were accessible by a big truck. So at the end, in March this year, we got a new depot suitable for growth, right? Accessible by big truck near the highway, a bit further out, but not so far out. We got a lot of help from TfL and from London boroughs and crossover partnerships and many, many actors. So the ability, the power, and the expertise is there in London to make it, to make this grow, the future grow happen. So that's very, very positive in my view, because the mindset is totally okay. One big difficulty is, of course, that the business is very conservative. And if you have business contracts between two contractors and need to change one, even one contractual change has a big impact. And normally it's very difficult. It implies that if you take the job of electric van from a diesel van contractor, the diesel van contractor will lose money, right? And will lose a contract. So there is a loser in this, and that's difficult. And the shared use of depot and vehicle and customer data, that's also a key story that can be overcome with business accepting the idea that subcontractors would share depot, vehicle, and data for them, right? Or this supplier allows us contractor to share the goods inside of the same vehicle as their competitor because they are not competing in the back of a lorry, competing on the shelf, right? So that's okay. We could have also a lot of potential supportive action beyond grid infrastructure for developing the solution further. Maybe the most interesting stuff would be having a regular contact with local business, helping to coordinate activities around new sustainable freight and solutions for different clients, big and small. Thanks for your attention.